Hello, guys. Welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host, Simon. We are back again with another one. As we are excited, people, match week 8 is very soon officially coming to an end because right now I'm talking to you, Nottingham Forest is playing against Crystal Palace. We'll get to that. There is just something that I need to talk about technical wise. Today we are having some crazy weathers, people. So you won't be surprised if I just go blank and something like that. The weather is just crazy. Power cuts might just happen anytime. So I need to let you, that is the warning. And that's why this video came late. And that's why if you're waiting for a video on the Football Connect LFC, you do not see it because of what has been happening with this crazy weather. But anyway, I'm here, people, and we are here to gonna talk about Liverpool versus Chelsea. We're gonna talk about Manchester United actually winning a game. So many people were worried about that. We are also gonna talk about Tottenham Hotspurs showing that there is something that we can still see from this team, and we will talk about all the other games which were played, as well as build up to the Champions League, as the Champions League is about to heat up. So be excited, people. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Connect. We're going to try to do this under an hour, people, because time is no longer on our time, but we're going to be moving as fast as we can. Before we will go anywhere far, do me a favor. If you're watching us for the first time, this is the Football Connect. I'm your host, Sam, and we always cover football from any game that is played in the Premier League. We're here for it, but more than often we are here to talk about some controversial moments and everything that makes football exciting. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Connect, as this is the review show of all the games which are played, as well as the Champions League preview. So there were a lot of games which were played, but the bigger one, we all know it, the one that had so many eyeballs, the one that the Premier League was supposed to dish to us as the masterclass or the best game of the week, was Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield. And of course, my team went out and got the victory. I get it. There's gonna be more better analysis, in-depth analysis of the game on the Football Connect LFC. So you should join us exactly maybe let me just say 30 minutes after this video. Go check it out on the Football Connect LFC, as you're gonna analyze you're gonna see what I'm gonna be talking about, everything that happened into the game, what helped, as well as some of the stories. But all in all, I think what I gave in my review is exactly what actually happened in the game, people. Liverpool had a mission, played so well, and I think more than we can ever say, what actually got Liverpool winning this game, it's actually more about the quality that Liverpool have rather than the quantity that the team has, because I think we got to see the difference in the qualities of the players, who has the better, who's doing better. And I think that's what at the end of the day got Liverpool the victory over Chelsea on the other side, because Chelsea were good. Chelsea really gave everything. In fact, when I'm being honest, and I think I'm gonna do that all the time now, when I'm done here, I'm actually gonna speak about why Chelsea actually deserves a rematch. Because if we are gonna really look at this game and not only focus on the result base, this feels like it was a steel match. It was a steel match because in giving everything in terms of in depth, in terms of everything which was offered in this game, Chelsea really gave everything and they fought to the very end. And somehow Liverpool were just that good. But that does not take away from the quality we got to see from Chelsea's players. I'm talking of the likes of Moises Caicedo. I'm talking about the likes of Romeo Lavia. The funny part, all those two players were linked and Liverpool were interested in buying them, but they tried to play a chess game and they ended up losing both of them to Chelsea. I remember that transfer window. I don't even want to think about it. But also, like I'm saying, in terms of quality, Liverpool somehow showed that they have the better of the quality over the Chelsea team in this 2-1 win in the game, because you guys did the man of the match. Curtis Jones was the guy who was the difference maker. He is the guy why Liverpool got this. I know that everyone, when the fan voting, they always go for Mohamed Salah, but this guy, for me, was the guy who showed Liverpool that quality is what they needed. Because when you really look at it, the game, when you really look at how everything went on, because in terms of everything that we saw in the game, actually Chelsea dominated the game. Actually, Chelsea offered more. They showed more in terms of how they approached the game, how everything happened. They were given more of the game, because one thing that people knew going into this game is that if Chelsea were going to fail in terms of actually doing more, they were going to hit this team on the counter. They've scored so many goals in the counter. Jackson has actually been the player in scoring so many goals, so scoring so much, and actually being able to offer so much in terms of how he takes advantage of the space which is left by the defenders. And Liverpool did so by making sure that they gave Chelsea the ball. Whether you like to admit that or not, whenever the backline of Chelsea had the ball, Liverpool were literally watching them. They were not putting them under pressure. They actually allowed them to play. Because, of course, you have to understand that the way Chelsea approached this game, they were building up with the back three. The back three of Toyson, Liverpool as Reece James, Liverpool being the left side, the center back of the team, as well as, oh, what a goal by, who's that? By Chris Wood. Wow, that's a goal, by the way. So, as we're just speaking right now, Nottingham Forest are leading 1-0 against Crystal Palace. That's a game that is actual live, people. That's why it got my attention anyway. But what I'm talking about is this. If you could really look at the game, they were building up with the back three, and the two people just nearby, which was the Moises Caicedo and Liverpool. Then up forward, there were other, because there was a box of 4 players. We talked about this box building up into the game, that how Liverpool get at the advantage of Chelsea, especially in this box. How can they get the better of them? And we saw that there was a struggle in the beginning, but Liverpool got into the game. So what was happening was this. Gusto was coming in from that left side to become one of the midfielders, mostly because they wanted to have that numerical advantage in the midfield, but not only because of the advantage that they wanted to have in the midfield. There was also something special that they actually set up for Liverpool to try to cancel out their attacking threat in terms of building up, in terms of the long balls, in which was Trent Alexander. And the reason why they did not want that is because if you really have been watching Liverpool so much as they're doing, they are trying by means to use what we call the long balls in terms of how they are playing the game, using the strike force being who are really good at holding the ball and doing as much as they can, or maybe taking advantage and running at the end and trying to take advantage of the spaces. What am I talking about? Most of the times whenever Liverpool are playing and they're playing with a team that puts so much pressure at the back, they hit the ball on top so that the likes of Salah holds the ball, bounce back the ball to the midfielders who's going to be very close to them. Most of the time that is Dominic Szoboszlai, or maybe McAllister, in this case Curtis Jones, so that they bounce back, so that in that bounce back other players who are up at the front can run and try to take advantage of the spaces so that they get something at the end of the day. And so many times we saw situations like that Liverpool were hitting the long balls. So what did they do? They knew that in terms of the best creator, the best player who's really good to noticing up spaces at the back and who can hit the ball so well is Trent Alexander-Arnold. So they decided to main mark Trent Alexander-Arnold. Jadon Sancho and Gusto was their mission to take Trent Alexander out of the game. But also on top of that, Romeo Lavia, as well as at some point Caicedo, was their mission to take Gravenberch out of the game, because of course we've discovered that Liverpool's brain, whenever they play the game, it's actually Ryan Gravenberch. And at some point they did that the most, but the one who was mostly main marked was Trent Alexander-Arnold. They did not want him getting the ball, especially when they were putting pressure at the back. And because of that, it means that they were sacrificing more players forward. Gusto being one of the players who was going to be next to Jadon Sancho to make sure that there's not that space for Trent Alexander-Arnold, but also worked well in Liverpool's advantages because they started using their number 4 defender in Gallagher, becoming the guy who hits the ball forward to make sure that he uses his good threat in hitting the ball going forward and take advantages of the spaces that were being created. And in doing that, that just made the game really, really interesting, because at some of the points, whenever you find the spaces being used or actually being overlapped, we found ourselves in situations where, Tucson was taking out Diogo Jota in Saliba style. that's a WWE superstar like style in terms of styles, but that happened, not punished the way it was punished on Saliba. But also on the other hand, we found situations where players like Liverpool were dealing with Mohamed Salah's because so many goals shots were being taken to Salah's side, especially after they took out this player in the game, after Diogo Jota went out with the injury that he suffered from that WWE style, the ball started going more on the side of Salah, which means, remember, they were sacrificing their left back for that, which means that left-sided centre back was his mission was to take Salah out of the game, and in doing that, made it more exciting to see how Cole was going to do that. Hence, where the first goal of Liverpool came from, because Liverpool discovered that this guy is literally on a head loss now type of situation. They kept using his side, taking advantage of how Salah is good in holding the ball, and they're helping up to create spaces for the players. In doing situations like that, that's where it led to him losing his head and taking out Curtis Jones, in which led into a penalty. Before that, there should have been a penalty, but of course, there was a Sancho penalty, and I think the referee was trying to cancel the situations out, and he did that. And the second penalty came out, it was a penalty. Then things just went out of that. It was a crazy game. I don't want to lie to you. Okay, so Mr. Gameplay is back. He's saying, Sam, what did I say? You said we were going to win, sir, and we did win. You just cannot let it go. You can't let it go. I told you we will win against Chelsea, and you did. But you were predicting again. You were predicting around 5-0 and stuff like that. This was actually a close game than it was, really, to be honest, because I think Chelsea really gave us a fight, and I should have listened. But I did, though, because my prediction was a 3-1 win, even though it was not a 3-1 at the end of the day, but that was my prediction. Noticing how I saw the game really progressing, and that's exactly what happened in the game when you watch it. We really struggled, but also, like I'm saying, man marking also means that they literally eliminated some of their strikers who could have done better in terms of the game, some of their players who could have offered more, because it gave the rest of the game to Liverpool. Because now what happened was this: Arne Slot gave a special mission to Curtis Jones, in which the mission was easy. Whenever we are not on the attack, you're gonna do something interesting. Whenever they're putting us pressure, you would take out their stamina out of the game. And he did that. He made sure that Cole Palmer was not in the game. But also, whenever we were not on the attack, you would actually make sure that you become the third or maybe the most important attack as well. Because remember, Curtis Jones can still play as a number 10, does not create as much as that, but of course, when you compare him and Dominic Szoboszlai, he actually creates more than Dominic Szoboszlai. So it meant that because of what Arne Slot has done, it also gave more spaces for him to go behind, as well as in terms of defensively. There's a reason why the manager wanted Cody Gakpo rather than Luis Diaz, because Cody Gakpo was not actually playing as the winger that we're used to him. He was actually playing as a midfielder in some certain stages of the game, because he was being used as a guy who was cutting up any chances which were going to be created to the side of Cole Palmer, to the side where Cole Palmer gets it. So he was making sure that whenever Dominic Szoboszlai he was really rigid to stop that, and it worked so well to Liverpool's favor, because Cole Palmer could not get into his favorite position. And whenever he tries to drop back, running away from Curtis Jones, well, he had to deal with Cody Gakpo. He struggled to get into the game, and because of that, Liverpool literally eliminated the greatest threat that Chelsea could offer in the game. Jadon Sancho on the other side, people are not going to talk about it, but Trent Alexander-Arnold got him out of the game. Oh, funny for a guy who cannot defend. It's really, really funny for a guy who cannot defend to take out one of the most bold and one of the best skillful players we have. And they brought Pedro Neto, a runner, to try and use the pass against Trent Alexander-Arnold. But yet, because Trent was deep already, because you were man-marking the guy, he was literally waiting for whatever that this guy was going to offer, because going backwards, he was there. And that's how Liverpool got Chelsea out, and the rest we just have to talk about it. It was all the quality of Curtis Jones running around with the show and doing everything that he had to do to get the game to Liverpool side. I wanted to take a moment to talk about someone who is in my ear and is currently one of the best players Liverpool. So now I know that there's a lot of talent that is in the squad, and that's when you watch. Okay, and you're saying that, and on the whole different level, what stand out for me about is that I was not playing the game, I was just literally watching the game, man. Come on. Is that the skill and the person was in the drive and the okay. I hear you. No, I did watch the game, and I think it was really good the way the game went on, like, and the way Liverpool took advantage of that, which yes, and we control the ball, the space, and the phenomenon. This is a game same as yeah. It was, but also on the other side, when we look at the game, really, when we really were being honest looking at the game, I think Moresca, if he's to watch that game again, he will see where his mistakes and the way Arne Slot caught him. Because one thing that I think we've really been good at as Liverpool this season is the ability to adjust. We literally adjust ourselves in a situation where we feel like we're getting exposed. And I think that was amazing. Some tactical tweets that I noticed today when I was doing some researches and watching people talking about was we discovered that when Chelsea were having that advantages of so many people were on the midfield, he decided to use one of the players to get spaces out to make sure that somehow he gave more questions than rather than answers for Moresca, and it forced him to force some of the players to do something. And taking out Cole Palmer became a problem for Moresca because he wanted to overload the midfielder to have so many players so that as they focus in dealing with the likes of Caicedo, the likes of Romeo Lavia, it opens up spaces for Cole Palmer to deal with that. But Liverpool were not budging into that. Dominic Soboslai was really important to this because he got the legs. He was dropping in to help out so that every single time, whenever they're doing whatever they're doing, Curtis Jones' main mission was to keep taking out Cole Palmer out of the game, and him going out of the game and Dominic Soboslai becoming one of the players. It meant that there were so many players to deal with the likes of Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo. That was some interesting tactical tricks because I think it worked so well for them guys. It worked so well for them, and I think that was one of the best things that we watched in the game. So I don't know, we'll see how the game goes on, like, but Liverpool still remain on the top, 12, 21 points. Man City following them and everything that is happening here. And Chelsea were given the ball. At the end of the day, they'll talk about, okay, we did everything we did, but at the end of the day, they just could not get the job done. They just could not win the game because as much as the stats are on their favor, what Liverpool did well was to stop them from shooting at goal. They had two shots on target. The first one was a goal. The other one, I think it was a header at the end of the game. I don't even know if it was even a header, but they stopped them from shooting, and that was the most important thing. So Chelsea, as much as they are going to talk about the position, we also have to remember that the quality of Liverpool stopped them from doing anything. So that's my thoughts on the game, really. If you have anything that you want to ask, anything you want to add, let me know. But the interesting step that I actually had from this one was this. Chelsea have not beaten Liverpool in their last 20 games that they've met each other. So many of them have ended in draws, Liverpool winning on penalties in some of the games, but also on top of that, Chelsea have not managed to do more. The best that they've managed to get out of a Liverpool squad or a Liverpool team is actually a draw. So let me hear what you think of that, and let's see what happens. The other crazy game that happened this week was also Arsenal. Arsenal were shocked. That's why, as you can see on the title, Arsenal got a bit of a cherry on a Saturday night. This was a good game, people. I don't want to lie to you, because not only because of what was happening in the game, but also because of this decision that Mikel Arteta made in the game. And I think he will die by the sword of the decisions he made. This was a crazy decision to take out. Of course, I know maybe he was not 100% fit in this guy, but taking out the Saka out of this game, led him into finding himself into problems that he could not deal with. Because without not having a second game, it meant that he could not have somebody who could actually create something. Because remember, Martin Odegaard is not there, still doesn't trust Wanieri, and that's it. He was literally playing with the three GMs. I know Robbie Lyon has been doing as much as he can to try and remove that out of the picture. That no, the other one is not a DM, but Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, those are DMs. You know for a fact these guys played DMs before they came to Arsenal. Then also the guy who came in as well, what's his name? Is it Moreno? As much as you might say he's an attacking what, but he is the way he plays, he offers more as a DM than what actually we want to see from a player. And I think that's where the problem was. I think they struggled to get this guy in the game. They struggled to make him actually create something. Kai Havertz had one of those quietest games you ever have because there was nothing that was coming out. The actual player was actually doing well going forward. It's actually Sterling. But guess what? Mikel Arteta took Sterling out of the game. And taking him out of the game exposed the team, and it was a crazy game. I'm going to do a deep dive into this game on the Football Connect. I think maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, or maybe after the Champions League. I'll do a deep dive into this game, giving you some tactical analysis of this game and tell you what actually led us into this game. But the talking point is also going to be the Saliba red card, also because of what we know now that Liverpool too soon don't get a red card for a similar offense. We get it, but also you have to understand the red card why it was given is because Saliba panicked. And it was all created by what Trossard did. And because of Trossard's decision, it exposed us now a lot. And in that exposure, they got punished for it. And I think he got the red card in the 30 minutes. And from then going forward, Arsenal tried to attack because they'd not done anything when there were 11 men on the pitch. They did not even done something. Because let me just give you a scenario of you understanding what I'm saying, that I've been here right now on this stream for about 22 minutes, and I've been talking for 22 minutes. Some people who have been with me from minute one can actually tell that, oh, this guy has been talking for some time. And Arsenal had not created any chance that was meaningful in the game. That's how long these guys took to actually create something meaningful to get into the game. And that's where they suffered the most. That's where they got exposed the most. And as the game continued, as everything happened, nothing could come out of it. Get the 10 men out. They tried to defend, taking out their only guy who was trying to penetrate and hit players on one-on-one in Sterling, and putting on a Kiwior, thinking that they needed to replace Saliba. And in doing that, they exposed themselves even more because it got themselves in trouble. What is happening here? There is an injury for Nottingham Forest in the 81st minute of the game. So that means that the referee is going to try to do something to deal with that. But the game is still going on, people. Still 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. A few minutes. I think there's going to be a long time added into this because of that injury. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So like what I'm saying, people, that's where the problem of Arsenal is. But also, like I said, this does not only affect Arsenal only once, but it affect us now even way more than we could have seen. Because you know what happened? Because of the red card that Saliba suffered from, he missed Enfield game. I thought he was going to miss 3 games, but that is actually, I've read the rules. It's only 1 game, and that will be the Liverpool game. Of course, there's Champions League. They right now, Arsenal fans are hoping that they at least have an FA Cup game or maybe even a Carabao game right now there, because they need the Saliba to be in the game, and there's nothing that they can do. And we'll see what happens. They are still talking about how much they're going to beat Liverpool. Somehow these guys are talking about the Liverpool game like they've already won it. I just don't get that one. Just don't get that one. But we'll see what happens, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section over this game. The game happened, and for a team that has called themselves the master tacticians in terms of scoring corner kicks, having their first goal that they were scored against coming from a corner, that is going to hurt, that is going to stink so badly. But not only that, from that, but the second goal coming out as well the way which it was scored, the way everything was worked on as a penalty, the way Kivio fell into the trap, and how he could not see that the player was actually, the keeper could not see how he was being used to get to that penalty. It was still stupid. But not only because of that, but we can also go look at it and say that there was also something that we noticed from this situation. We also saw how terrible the goalkeeper was coming from the proposal that was supposed to be the best week of his life. Things do not go well, and I think we need to talk about us now. As much as they are title challengers, they have not really played like it. They have not really looked like it. The reason why I'm saying that all the games, even the games that are supposed to be easy for them, they've really struggled. They've really struggled to get into the game. And for a team that likes to call themselves one of the best teams in terms of the best defensive teams in the Premier League, they're getting scored for fun. Goals are being scored for fun. And the interesting part that I always tell you that the problem why they'll never achieve is that every single time you give them a stat over something, they always have excuses to say. Rather than saying that because we've received so many red cards, but you are the chief creators of those red cards. You are the one who's leading yourself into those crazy red cards you're not supposed to be getting. And you have to deal with your discipline. Your discipline has to be better. You have to be much better on what you do. And if you cannot work on your discipline, you're gonna keep getting exposed and exposed and exposed. That's what's happening to Mikel Arteta and his team. And I think exactly because of how he's always like outside on the technical area, it's now literally just being reflected on what we're seeing on the pitch. Since he took over as Arsenal manager, Arsenal have received the most red cards out of any other teams, and that's crazy. From the time he took out, I think it's about a number of about 19 red cards that they've received. The team that comes close to them, I think it's about 11 red cards, and it's actually a team that is down below in the Premier League. So something has to change from Mikel Arteta. He needs to be disciplined. He has to work on his team's discipline, because if he doesn't, this is going to continue happening. That's why they lost this game. And to tell you how good Bournemouth were, even though so many people might not really do that, if you look at the stats of the game, as much as Arsenal were in the game, the 51% in the game position-wise, they were given the ball, but they only created one. They only had one shot on target. They had 6 shots overall. So many touches, especially on the backside, and nothing really to offer for the game. And on the other side, very close to them, but with 4 shots on target, 18 shots overall. They literally ran this game. The Cherries had an amazing time playing against Arsenal, and that's what led to Arsenal losing the game. They might say whatever they want to say. They might try to give so many excuses, but this is the reason why they lost the game. They allowed the Cherries to play them out. I'll do a better deep dive into this game. I think I'll set the date. You see with the stream being set up. But people, that was it. That's why Arsenal lost. And Mikel Arteta, really, to be honest, you are to be blamed for this. Your team is to be blamed. You need to be disciplined, and you were just not that. And that's what led you into losing the game. Anyway, we move on. Like I told you guys, we're experiencing bad weather this side, and don't be confused if my stream is lagging and whatever, because I'm seeing with what I'm seeing on the streams here. You can see that it's crazy. But anyway, the other game which was played, which I think has to do with the title race, is Man City versus Wolves, in a game which has caused so much chaos than we want to hear because of what happened. They won by 2-1. The goal was scored in the last minute against Wolves, and it's all about what Bernardo Silva did in this game, how his movement, what he did. The VAR intervened, gave the goal, but Wolves were not happy. They complained and they did something. But this is the interesting part about the Premier League, because I'm sorry that I have to bring this up. Liverpool has been told every single time that they haven't played anybody yet, and yet all these teams that they've given the title favorites in Man City and the title challengers in Arsenal problems is the same team that Liverpool won against. Bournemouth, Liverpool, we beat them, and all of those things happened, but yet we're still being told we haven't played anybody yet. But we have to understand this is the Premier League. A lot of things can happen, and a lot of things can just happen. You just have to be ready for that. Okay, that looks so interesting. What just happened there? Anyway, the game is almost over though of Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, but it still has been a good game. Still has been a good game. So I just hope that people start talking and saying Liverpool haven't played anyone because we did. We have played somebody. Hence why we're on top of the league. So it's already on the 30-minute mark, people, and we have seen it all. Man City won by 2 goals to 1, which means that they're still 1 point behind Liverpool in the rest as it's heating up. We saw Tottenham going to play with West Ham. I did a reaction to this game. What a game. I think a game that we are always gonna remember. Jay Kulusevski becoming the guy who runs this game. He did everything that he did. Kudos getting a red card because I think he had a moment of what we call a head loss moment, and that led into that. But Tottenham Hotspur's back to winning ways. So many people thought that they were gonna struggle to when they're playing the Hammers, but we saw that the team that just struggled in the game are actually the Hammers. We also saw Fulham's playing against Aston Villa in a game which Fulham scored first, as they have now come accustomed in scoring first. But at the end of the day, there were 2 red cards in this game. Anderson getting one, as well as a double yellow for Jadon Pinnock. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Morgan Rogers scored, Ole Watkins scored, as well as Diop on goal. That what's led Aston Villa into the winning ways. Aston Villa still is surprising team because the way they play and what they do. But if we had to look for somebody who actually had an amazing game out of this game, it's actually gonna be Yuri Tillerman. I think he ran the show. He was the difference maker. He did everything he could do, and he helped this team. Everything. If you go look, tackles, duels, passes to the final third, everything. It was all Tillerman who was ticking the boxes in that game, and hence why they deserve the win. Manchester United beat Brentford by 2 goals to 1 in a game that Matthias de Ligt came of age. He showed why he was an important player because even when he went out, that's where the goal from Brentford came from. But Garnacho came into the game, assisted by Rashford as well as Bruno Fernandes. Amazing assist to Rasmus Højlund. This was a game that United wanted to win, and the players showed it. They were fighting to the very end. They deserved this victory. Nobody's going to take it away from them. Brentford has been a good team, but they got a team that stopped them in United. And I think we can all agree to that. Lisandro Martinez played as a left back, did so well, and they did everything that he had to do. What a game, by the way. What a game. As well as Newcastle lost to Brighton. And this was a game that I told you that it was going to be an interesting one. Welbeck scored the goal. Welbeck had to come out because of an injury that he suffered in the game, but he was the difference maker. He helped the team to win, and hence why they won the game. 7 minutes has been added to Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest still leading, and I think what they're doing is only playing what we call defensive, and that's really important. So that's a good thing. Southampton played against Leicester City in a game which I think if you are Southampton, you're gonna look at yourself in the mirror and you will punch yourself. You'll punch yourself every single time because there's a game that they look like they could have won. This is a game that everything was working well for them, and yet at the end of the day, I'm still coming out here and I'm telling you that they lost because Leicester City get back into the game in the second half. The first goal being scored in the 64th minute by the same player who got the winning game in their last game, their first win of the game. And as well as the game continued, a penalty which was given to Jamie Vardy because of a stupid thing which gave a red card to what do you call him, Ryan Fraser, who just had coming into the game, and that led to that, as well as Ayu's last minute goal, which the last minute of the game gave Leicester City the victory over the Saints. And I think for a team that has not won a game, this must stink to lose a game in the last minute. Everton played against Ipswich in a game that so many people, including me, thought that Everton might lose, but Everton are looking like they found their GB or Jibby Jabby, whatever we're gonna call it, because now they're playing like a team that actually can win the game. They're enjoying everything that they're doing, and they're doing it to perfection. Played so well. Of course, we saw a goal from Liam Day as well as Michael Keane in the last minute, and that was it. Nothing for Ipswich to offer. They scored a goal which was disallowed by VAR, but rather than that, there was nothing. At their home ground, they lost. They won by 2 goals to nil, and I think it was a well deserved. win by Everton. Arsenal one, we talked about it. Wolves, Man City, we talked about it. Then the last one, the which are still actually being played, as you can see right now, that is not actually the right time. It's actually 93 minutes, people. Still 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, and we'll see what happens. The goal came from Chris Wood, and I think that's the guy who's actually going to get the man of the match at the end of the day. What a game. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think and what are you excited over? Why did I have to do a quick rundown down, people? I'm going to explain because Champions League begins tomorrow and we have to be ready for all the games that are being played. And I'm going to give you my thoughts over those games as well as what I'm expecting. Tomorrow, things heats up. A lot of games are being played and so many teams are leading. I'll show you the table as well as we continue with the analysis of these games. But like I said, tomorrow we have some interesting games that are being played in the Champions League. And if you look on your screen, I'm going to put it right now. These are the games that are going to be played in the Champions League. We have Monaco playing against, is this Czech Verdam? Then AC Milan playing against Club Brugge. Shakhtar Donetsk are going to be hosted by Arsenal. Juventus are playing with the team called Stuttgart, as well as AK Straubing playing against Sporting. Real Madrid playing against Dortmund. A repetition of the final of the Champions League last season, as well as PSG playing against PSV. We have Girona playing against Sloven. Is it Bratislava? On Wednesday, we have Aston Villa playing against Balogun. We have Atalanta playing against Celtic, as well as Best playing against Bayer Leverkusen. We also have RB Leipzig playing against Liverpool, the game that, of course, I'm going to be watching. We have Manchester City playing against a team called Sparta Prague. Then we have Bayern Munich playing against Barcelona playing against Bayern Munich in a game that so many people are going to be keeping their eye on because we know. I repeat, people, we know what always happens in this game. We know what always happens in this game. So you have to really keep an eye on it. The reason why I removed my earphone is because my ear is so loud right now. I have no idea why. We know how many goals have been scored. Hansi Flick, the manager of Barcelona, actually used to do so much harm to Barcelona before he became a manager of Barcelona. And it's because of the Bayern Munich team that he managed. Then we have Atletico Madrid playing against, what is the name of this? Is it Lille? I think that's the Lille. I always have a problem with that. Then we have Red Bull Salzburg playing against Dinamo Zagreb. Is it Zagreb? Then Benfica versus Feyenoord, Young Boys versus Inter. That is the last of the games which are going to be played on Wednesday to mark week 3 of this one. But let's start with the bigger one. Bayern Munich, Barcelona versus Bayern Munich in match week 3 in a game I think that so many people have an eye on in terms of the timeline, in terms of the stats, in terms of the insights into the game. Barcelona have lost their last 6 matches against Bayern Munich, conceding around 22 goals and failing to score or in their last 4 defeats in their entire history. They've only lost more consecutive games in all competition against Real Madrid from 1962 to 1965, 7 in a row. And I am telling you, if they continue, Bayern Munich, if they beat them at their home this time, that will become their number 7 in a row. That is going to be interesting. Bayern Munich have won 10 UEFA matches against Barcelona, which is what? Bayern Munich have won 10 UEFA Champions League games against Barcelona, drawn 1 and lost 2 in the Champions League history. Only Real Madrid against Bayern Munich, 11 wins, have won more games against a single opponent. Oh my God, can you believe it? Real Madrid does this to Bayern as well as Bayern does this to Barcelona. It's crazy. It's like giving each other middle fingers. It's really, really crazy. Nottingham Forest have won the game, people. It's over. It's over. Just seen it right now. It's over. I know. Then Bayern Munich are looking to become just the second side to win 7 consecutive UEFA Champions League games against an opponent along with Real Madrid versus along with Real Madrid versus Ajax between 2010 to 2019. Barcelona and former Bayern Munich manager Hans Flick has won 17 of his 20 games in the UEFA Champions League's 95 win, the best win percentage of any manager with more than 2 games in the competition. Indeed, 17 is the most by a manager in the 20 games in the competition's history. That's an interesting one. Nottingham Forest moves to position 8 in the Premier League. That tells you how serious this team is. Remember that. Among teams involved in this 24-25 edition, Barcelona are on the longest current run of consecutive Champions League games. Second is in 8. However, the last away team to keep a clean sheet against Barcelona in the competition was Bayern Munich in 2022, in a 3-0 defeat that they suffered. So it means that they've not been losing a lot of games at their home ground, and I think they're going to try to keep that. But this is a big game, people. Rather than all the insights and everything that I'm reading to you, this is a game that so many people are going to talk about, because we know what happens in this game. Barcelona always suffers defeats, even if when they don't want it, they're always punished, even though when they don't even want to be punished. To be honest, not really their fault. Whenever Bayern Munich just wants to inflict pain on a victim, they do it for fun. And this is a situation that Barcelona are in, and they have to find a way. They have to find a way to win against this team, because if they don't, they will be in trouble. They will be in trouble, because imagine being embarrassed by a single team every single time. Like, you literally live your life for this team. It's not going to be easy, I'm telling you, but it's actually going to be an exciting game. My prediction, I think Barcelona have to win this game. I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory to Barcelona, because their attacking threat is really doing well. And I think because it's Vincent Kompany, I just don't feel like he's really at that level to be running games and to be doing whatever you do. That's why I feel like Barcelona might win. I don't know. I might be wrong. Let me know in the comment section. What is your prediction? The other games that have been played, of course, is the one that my team are also involved in. Sorry, I think we've gone a bit far. The other team is actually, I think it's the Real Madrid versus Dortmund game, because it's just a repetition of the Champions League final that we saw Dortmund being on top, having won all their games and scored so many goals, 10, and they've only conceded 1 goal, and they're just running around. I think one of the games that gave them so many goals was the team that they beat so many times. But what can they do by the team that beat them by 1-0, winning the Champions League? And again, Jude Bellingham again going to be hosting his former team. It's going to be interesting. So I hope something happens, but we'll see. Real Madrid might win this game by 1-0 or 2-0. They have not really been good. Kylian Mbappe scoring goals, but not really been good. And I think they've been struggling to keep a clean sheet. So I think it's going to be a 2-1, or maybe be surprised. Dortmund might actually win this game, because there's not that much pressure than the game that they had. If nothing happens, it might be a draw, but we'll see how the game goes on. But this is going to be a good game to keep an eye on, people. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. How are you seeing from this game, as well as the other games that are going to be played? There are so many games that are going to be played, of course. Like I said, Liverpool, I think they'll beat. So let me just go up there from the start, just giving you my prediction of all the games that are going to be played in this week. I think that's the first, because there are so many games. That's the problem with this competition. Monaco versus Verde. Monaco win this game by 2-0 or 3-0, because they beat Barcelona. That's the reason why AC Milan win this game by 2-1 against Club Brugge. Arsenal beat Shakhtar Donetsk by about 3-0. Juventus beats Stuttgart by about 4-2. SK Stam, the reason why I'm saying Juventus win is because they haven't lost a game yet. I don't know if they haven't, but they haven't. Sporting will beat this team called SK by 5-0, because remember, they have Gyökeres who's scoring for fun. Real Madrid will beat Bayern Munich, like I told you, or by 2-1. PSG will beat PSV by 4-2-1. Then Girona will win this game by 1-0. Then the Aston Villa will draw with Baloga 2-2. Atlanta will beat Celtic by 3-0. If it's not even a 6-0. Then the Beast will be beaten by Bayer Leverkusen by about 3 or 4-0. Then the RB Leipzig will lose to Liverpool by 3-1. Oh no, 3-1. Then Manchester City will beat Spartak Prague by 7-0. Barcelona will win for their first time by 2-1 against Bayern Munich. Atletico Madrid will win this game. It will draw 1-1. It's going to end 1-1 because this team is dangerous. Trust me. It is dangerous. Salzburg versus Dynamo will end on a 3-3 draw because Salzburg will allow goals to come in. Benfica will beat Feyenoord by 2-0. Young Boys will lose to Inter by 3-1. Those are my prediction of the game week 3 of the Champions League, and we'll see how that will have an impact over this. But in terms of the table of the Champions League, if you dare to look, by Dortmund on top because of goals, Beast are following them because they've also won their 2 goals. So it's going to be an interesting one. Benfica number 3, Bayern Leverkusen number 4, Liverpool number 5. Those are the 4 teams and the Aston Villa number 6, Juventus are number 7. These are the teams that have not lost a game in the competition. Man City have, I think, drawn the other game, lost the other game, and drawn the other game and won the other game. That's why they're number 4. And Inter, Spartak, Atlanta, Sporting, Arsenal, Monaco, they are the teams that have not dropped points. They've dropped points by drawing but not lost a game. Then from number 15 going down, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, that team from Paris, as well as PSG, Celtic, Club Brugge. We also have Feyenoord in it. We also have Atletico Madrid. Are the teams that have lost a game but also won a game. The other one that comes from here, from PSV going to the last minute, are the teams that have either drawn and lost or even never even won a game. That's how the Champions League is looking like, people. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think of my prediction? Like I told you, I have to be done with this video under an hour, and I think I did my best to do so. In the Liverpool game versus the game team we are playing with on Wednesday, the preview will be on the Football Connect LFC. Go check it out. I advise you to go do that. But before that, I have to do an analysis and in-depth that is going to be coming up next, where we look at what happened between Liverpool and Chelsea. Go enjoy that. It's going to be on the Football Connect LFC. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Football Connect, as well as the Football Connect LFC, the best. So you support us. I'm excited, people, over how the whole entire week is going to shape out. I'm excited over how the Premier League is heating up. I'm excited over how my club has started, Liverpool, keeping up with the teams that we're playing with. Still, the team which has conceded the 3 goals in 8 games which we have played. I'm hoping that we stop conceding silly goals like we conceded even yesterday. That has to change. Anyway, click the like button, subscribe to Connect. Let me know where you're watching us from. Tell me which one was your favorite game of the week. And also tell me in the comment section, what do you want me to do an analysis, a deep dive over? Of course, I told you I'm going to do on the Arsenal game, but do you have a special game that you want me to do a deep dive over? I will do as well to come tomorrow, talk about the Champions League games, how they're going on like, but I'm not going to be doing so much of that because, you know, my team is not playing. I'm out. Like the vid, subscribe. We'll see you on another one. We're out. Peace. Subscribe.
Beats the goalkeeper. You're just lost for words. He is just brilliant. George Best, Diego Maradona.